I lose it when we start talking about trashy cars because my husband and I have a history of them. Our first car was free. You get what you pay for. It was a gold Pinto that smoked like Fidel Castro. And I was grateful, that we had this car, but I was afraid to drive it. So eventually we got a Daihatsu. They don't make those anymore. And I know why. I was driving down I-5 going 60 miles an hour when all of a sudden the hood flew straight up my face. I couldn't see a thing. I had like an inch of visibility. Steered over to the side of the road. I almost had a heart attack. I got out and I looked at this thing. I was laughing and crying at the same time. I found a bungee cord and hooked it down and went on my way, but I was afraid to drive it. Now, eventually, we got our first new car. We had the 3 boys, and my husband had landed a job at the post office, so we got a minivan. We had that minivan for 20 years. All of our kids learned to drive in that minivan. By the time we traded it in, it had no hubcaps. All the paint had peeled off. It was bashed in on all sides. And the slider door kept falling off. We held it together with packing tape. And it had that really thick blue smoke coming out the back that looks like a cloaking device, hangs in the air for like 15 minutes after the car's gone by. It was horrible. You should have seen their eyes when we pulled into the dealership. Remember Cash for Clunkers? We got a good deal on that car. I know they didn't resell it. They took it to the back lot and torched it. Now my most frantic, frazzled car story happened at night in Tacoma. I was driving down South Tacoma Way on a dark, cold, rainy night. I knew it was raining because the sunroof was leaking all over me. This car had a lot of problems. The gas gauge didn't work and it kept jerking me over to the right. And then all of a sudden, I died in front of a park that had no street lights, only trees and bushes like bad guys hide behind, and I was scared. So I locked all the doors and called my husband on the cell phone. While I was talking to him, I could see in the rearview mirror that someone had pulled up behind me and was walking towards me, and I got really scared. I started screaming, "He's gonna kill me! He's gonna kill me!" And then I turned and looked straight into the face of Santa Claus. I'm not kidding. He had a full white beard, rosy cheeks, little glasses. God had sent Santa to save me. And I felt safe. It's a conditioned response. I've known this guy my whole life. I've been sitting on his lap since I was 2. If he looked like Charles Manson, I would have had a heart attack. But he looked like Santa. And there he was, staring at me through the window. "Ho, ho, ho, do you want a tow?" I was in shock. All I could do was... So he pulled up in front of me and hooked me up to his truck and pulled me about a half a mile up the road to a car dealership. Santa knows best. I was still in shock though, so he went on his way and I got out to get a free cup of coffee and wait for my husband. And then the coffee kicked in. And I remembered that I had told my husband that if I broke down one more time, I was going to buy a car. How convenient. So I did. I was signing papers when he showed up. I drove home in it that night. Well, he waited for the tow. So apparently you can't trade in a car that's not running. So he towed it to a mechanic, and the guy called me 3 times the next day. Couldn't figure out what was wrong with my car. Finally he calls me and says, "Lady, I know what's wrong with your car. ran out of gas. It's a true story, true story. Yeah. My husband was a little frazzled after that, but he got over it. He's a really nice guy, thank goodness. Yeah, he's a little too nice sometimes because he makes me look bad.